Children. I'll give you a little background about myself first. I grew up in Cleveland, and I've always been passionate about helping others, very passionate about international organizations in particular, mostly just because I think it's ridiculous in this day and age that some children don't have food and water or just basic education. It just doesn't seem right to me, so I've always been passionate about changing that. But I never really knew how to get involved. I've always went into marketing and business, so I figured if I went to Cleveland State for a few years for international business, and I thought I could tie that in. But while I was there, I had a representative from an organization that talked about volunteering opportunity that they offered in South Africa. And I immediately signed up. Before I even told my parents, I was like, that feels like the right thing to do. I just really want to jump in because just sitting here in these business classes isn't doing it for me. So I went to South Africa, volunteered for a month, and honestly it was the most amazing thing that I've ever done. Being able to see the children that I'm helping hands-on and just their happy faces with the things that we were doing to them, handing out food, just very basic things, but how appreciative and how amazing that they were, even without having everything that we have here. It was a really great feeling. It was the happiest I've ever been. So once I came back home, I decided that I was done with international business and I really wanted to be specific with my education because I knew that's what I wanted to do. So I moved out to Arizona just a few months later, also before telling my parents, because I knew it's what I wanted to do, and took some time off, became a Sun Devil in 2017, and graduated this past year. I'm very excited for where I'm going next. So the organization that I'm with is Chances for Children. Our main focus is creating sustainable communities. So it started out with an orphanage, and it grew into an entire program trying to get families and children on their feet to sustain themselves versus relying on handed out food and whatnot. So we have many different programs now. I believe it's 13 years that we've existed. So like I said, started with an orphanage. We now have education, feeding programs, clean water, women's empowerment programs, and many more, as you can see. So basically our motto is our vision is getting communities out of survival mode into stability mode and then eventually to become sustainable. So how I started this, my search, so I always knew that I wanted to do international nonprofit. Moving out to Arizona, I had a really hard time finding organizations that did international work. It was mostly local, which is great, but my personal passion is international. So I figured I'd be moving to California or one of the states that have the really big organizations. So I started my search very early for an internship because I saw the prices of San Diego, which is where I wanted to go, and I couldn't do that. So I started early. And actually, through the Lodestar Center is where I found Chances for Children. They have an amazing resource center. I actually took a screenshot because I love it so much. If you go onto their website, go to professional development, nonprofit jobs, internships, and career opportunities, has so many resources. It shows you volunteer opportunities, internships, paid and unpaid, things all over the country. I mean, a lot of things. You should definitely check it out if you're looking. But so I saw that Chances for Children was on there, but unfortunately, their internship had passed and wasn't available anymore, which I was super bummed about. But I figured it didn't hurt just to send them an email, see if they had any volunteer opportunities. I'm glad I did because that was a month before their huge fundraiser that they needed some help with. So I think I emailed her that day, and then a week later I was already working for them. And so she brought me in for my interview, and honestly it's because of the NLA that I feel I might have gotten the job, but the NLA definitely gave me that extra step towards it. I told her about my experience with volunteer coordination. I had done a campaign with the NLA, and we raised $20,000, which was amazing. And just so many other things I kept rattling off, and she was immediately like, okay, yeah, you're on. So I kind of jumped in with last-minute event planning things, which I never imagined myself getting into event planning. It was a challenge, but I've grown a lot from it, and I know that it was going towards the correct cause, so I was very happy with it. And so after the event that I'd helped with for about a month or so, she asked me if I wanted to come on full-time and start planning the event for next year, which is very early. So we started in January, and I have a million tasks that I have to do, but my main goals for the year is fundraising, making sure all of our contracts with the vendors and everything like that, very specific and lots of things, volunteer coordination, decorations, a fun part, marketing, and so many other things that I have to do. But again, because of my hands-on experience with the Nonprofit Leadership Alliance, I really felt prepared and felt good with a lot of that. So we actually just had our big fundraiser this past Saturday that I've been planning since January, and so I feel like I can breathe now. But it was very successful. We had at the Princess about 400 people there, and it was a beautiful event. We had raffle baskets. We had, I think it was close to $15,000 donated in in-kind goods, which was phenomenal. And we had live auction, silent auction, so a lot of fun things. And we had a goal of $900,000, and we actually surpassed it. And our final number was $960,000 that we raised, which was my first year on the job. Instant tears as soon as I heard that number. I mean, it was just unbelievable, and it really made me realize that this is the right way to go. This is what makes me happiest. And so I've definitely grown a lot with kind of being forced out of my comfort zone. Like I said, I'd never planned on doing event planning, but because of that, which I'm happy I did it, because like I said, I've grown fundraising and doing cold calls and asks. They're very uncomfortable if you've ever done them. Everybody in the NLA will have to if you haven't yet. It's very uncomfortable, but it's an important part of nonprofits, and it's definitely something you want to get out of the way early so you get good at it because it's important. And then I've listed a few up there, but like I said, I really think being a part of the NLASA gave me that upper hand to make me feel more confident in my job. So anything I can recommend for current or future students is just start your search just as early as possible, because if you have a very specific idea what you want to do, like I did, it doesn't hurt, and you never know what you can find. And then again, don't be scared to get out of your comfort zone just because you really grow a lot, like I had this year. It's a lot of work and it's stressful, but now I feel more confident to do next year, and I think I'll hit that million mark hopefully next year. So my future plans of just staying with Chances for Children. Now that I know what I'm doing, I think I'll be a bit more comfortable. But then we're also going to be